Let's say you are a wholesaler that is doing 10, 15, 20 deals a year, and you want to get that to the 50 to 100 deal a year level, or maybe even more. And it all depends on how you're structured now. So if you're an owner operator, if you're doing everything yourself, fulfilling all of the roles in the business, that's going to be very difficult for you to scale and to build a business that'll do volume on autopilot, so to speak. So it really comes down to two things. You need systems and you need people. And your systems are only going to be as good as the people operating them. So the decision really is, if you want to scale your business to the next level, if you want to get to 100, 200, 300 deals a year, you've got to have systems and you have to have people to operate those systems. And there's two ways to do that. You can outsource most of the systems and most of the positions that you need, or you can hire it all in-house. So that's really up to you. You just have to decide what you're comfortable with, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are. You always want to hire your weaknesses and do what you're good at, do what your strengths are, focus on that. Fill in the gaps where your weaknesses are and hire those. Find people that are good people, good solid people with good attitude. The saying goes, hire the attitude, train the skill. So you want people with a good positive attitude. You want people that are going to dive in and just join you and share in your vision of building this company. So when it comes to outsourcing and when it comes to scaling a wholesale business, wholesaling is transactional, much like real estate agent business is. It's all about contacts. It's all about people. It's all about relationships, and it's all about transactional volume. So you have to have systems to manage a high volume of transactions, a good CRM, good follow-up system, a good lead intake system, and a good system for disposing of the property's disposition. Again, it's really not investing. Wholesaling is transactional. It's not a real estate investing business, but it does come down to volume and it comes down to systems and people. So you can outsource a lot of that. There's companies that will do your lead intake for you, that will answer your incoming calls, whether they're internet leads, mailings, bandit signs, whatever it is. You can have those numbers routed to answering centers that will take the initial call, screen those people according to your scripts. Some of them have their own scripts, and find out if there is motivation there to sell, and then upload that into your CRM so that you can then follow up on that. So that's one way to do it. You can also outsource cold calling. There's companies out there overseas and in the United States now that are very good at cold calling, and they will cold call your lists. Some of them have their own proprietary list, but most of them take your list that you supply with them. One of the best lists to have for cold calling is your follow-up on your previous contacts. Go into your CRM, and people that are 3 months, 6 months, 2 years, whatever it is, follow-up is one of the best lists to give to somebody to cold call and just check in with them and see where they're at. You just never know. You want to be in front of the individual when they're ready to sell, and you just never know. I've bought deals years after I initially contacted them, sometimes for less money than I offered years before, and not for any other reason than the market cycle was down, so the property was worth less 2 years later than it was the year or two prior when I'd spoken with them. So you just never know when you're going to catch somebody when they're ready to sell. So you just got to follow up and follow through.